The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Hello viewer, welcome to Chungu Cha Jamii. This is on GBS TV. My name is Betty Akuku and I'm hosting Emmanuel with me in studio today. We are going to be having a very interesting topic. I'm so sure you don't want to miss this. And this is for better and for worse. Did you walk down the aisle? Did you stand at the altar someday and make such kind of vows? What was the content of your vow when you stood before men of God, stood before your parents and said, I do? Today, Emmanuel is here with me. I'm so excited and looking forward to what you are going to tell us about for better and for worse. Because sincerely, Emmanuel, as people are living their lives, it sounds like it's only for better. Please tell us what your name is and what you do and take us through this.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Gashanja. I am a founder of iVow, which is an organization that serves marriages and the family as a whole, and I'm honored to be here.
Wow.
And I am the chief marriage coach. Though I say founder CEO, but my title really is the chief marriage coach.
Wow. Karibu sana.
Asante, it's good to
Glad
be here.
to have you
Happy
too.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
So for better
Yes.
and for worse,
Yes.
is this vow valid?
First of all, it's very much needed. It's very much needed because just the general context of what marriage is,
Yes.
it means that marriage, there'll be the good days and there'll be the bad days. And if you're committing to be this person for life, for good, till death, as you say, till death do we part, then know that there will be for better, know that there will be for worse too.
There will be both.
There will be both. There's
The
no
truth
choice.
and the reality on the ground. By the way, today I want us to have that real conversation.
Yes, we are going to have
There
it.
have been a lot of masking around dating and courtship, and people end up into marriage with the same. I don't know if at some point they literally put down the mask, or situations hit you until the mask just falls off and you're like, my friend, this is me and you're gonna take it as it is, you know? We're gonna hit the road rough. What happens that after you have made the vow for better and for worse, you forget and all that you want is just for better?
Well, here's what happens. Now, when we are dating, we call it the marketing stage. The marketing stage. You're trying to lure this person to be your partner for the rest of your life. So you will do everything right. In fact, everything is well thought through, you know, from the date, what you'll say, how you'll say it, what you'll wear, the scent that you have on, you know, what dress you'll wear on which day. Even if they come to visit your home, everything is always clean.
Perfect.
Food is, you cook the best food.
On
Whether you
point.
know how to cook or not,
You'd
you
rather
will
get a
have the
chef.
best food. You get a chef. The guy will come there, you'll see, wow, you know, they've got it going on.
I know.
You know, for the guy, he's always trying to impress, you know, take you to the restaurants, he'll date you, tell you all the nice things. And then you go down the aisle, it's a joyful day, we celebrate, you go for your honeymoon, you know, enjoy that. And then you come back and life now begins. And then there's this, I think I've mentioned it to you before, that I like to call it the exhale moment. The exhale moment. Maybe let me paint a picture. Let me paint a picture what it is. You know, just picture this. You know, a woman going to a wedding or to an amazing event. She dresses up, dolls up, puts her makeup, puts everything, you know, looks like
Stunning.
she's like in today's jargon, they say she's slaying. So she's slaying, and she goes, she enjoys, has a good time. But you know, like when she's leaving, what's one of the first things she does in the car? You know, first of all, she takes off the heels. Ooh, because her feet are hurting and massaging, you know, and always has another pair of shoes in the car.
In the car.
You know, even when they go to the office,
A
there's
loafer.
another pair. There's another pair, low, you know, low, whatever.
Yeah,
Low
low
heels.
heel.
Yeah, so, because it's comfortable. You know, so it just gives her the relief.
So all
By
these
the
things
time-
that we just do for other people.
Yeah, by the time she
Oh my
gets home,
goodness, mhm.
forgive the use, but there's, of course, she'll go, first thing is remove the whatever, remove the spunks, that body shaper, so that I can be free. And then, now I'm good.
I'm home.
That's what happens in marriage. In marriage, there's a moment that will come where you can't, this marketing stage, you've gotten the person in the home, so you just now relax. So all that effort that you're putting to take them out, all that effort you're putting to dress like this, you'll just realize this guy, he just wears a singlet and boxers in the house the whole time. For the guy, he's just wondering, she used to wear some nice clothes, now she's wearing,
Seized.
yeah, and her head is all covered up.
Is anything wrong with that?
There's
I think
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
That's the reality of who we are.
Yes.
That's our natural default setting.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with that. But you see, what we fell in love with was this marketing thing and this ideology.
So what's the
that they
expectation?
presented.
That you keep up to it?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Is that
Yes.
doable?
Let me tell you, it's not doable.
It's not.
It's not doable. It's not sustainable.
It's not.
It's not sustainable.
So if it's not,
yeah.
why then do we walk away when we don't find it?
Well, you see, we have this idea that if it's not working here, we can go and find it
Working elsewhere.
We're constantly saying, in today's world, we've been given so many options. If this option is not working,
Plan B.
it's not that serious. Plan B, Plan C. We have until a Plan Z. So you're constantly looking for what will gratify you, and then for most part, we look for instant gratification. We are not created or designed to desire the process, to wait on the process. Marriage has its stages. It's the dream stage, which is what we talked about prior to the marriage. Then once you get to that exhale moment and relax and settle in and rubber meets the road, then drama begins. And you go through so much drama because these are two different people, two different personalities, two different ideologies coming to be one. So there'll always be a grinding until you get to a place where they call the discovery stage. By the time you're getting to the depth stage, you've been married 20, 25 years. You see,
I guess you meet a lot of couples.
Yes, I do.
By virtue of your work, and
Yes.
that is being the CEO and founder of iVow.
Yes.
So that means a lot of young people come to you for counsel. They come to you to help them to be able to walk this journey of ending up making vows and living together.
Yeah.
I do not know whether they really make it to live when it comes to for worse. For better, anyone can.
Yeah.
But for worse, what do you tell them when the worst moments comes? What do you tell them?
When it gets to these moments, and unfortunately it's more often than not.
I know, it's more often than the better.
Exactly. And then unfortunately, by the time they're coming to tell you about the for worse, it has been for worse for a while. And they've gotten to their wits' end. So it's not it's not when we
Just the
pick out a red
stage.
flag that we go and now have the right discussion.
Damage
we
has
don't.
been done.
Yeah. So when we pick out the red flag, we keep doing it and avoiding or whatever, or fighting each other. And one of the things I just tell couples is that, one, you have to ask them, are you perfect? I mean, are you perfect? Most of the time they'll tell you, no, I'm not perfect. Is she perfect? Definitely no. And then I'll say, then you guys are both a work in progress. And if you desire to get where you're going, you have to realize that your spouse is not the enemy. That you are both working to fight whatever this issue is that is coming and standing against your prospering and your happiness in your marriage.
The default of people is that everybody views themselves as the better person, the one who is doing the right thing, as opposed to the other who is always on the wrong, who is always hurting me, who is always doing this and this. Who is supposed to walk you into this process so that you actually realize the enemy is neither of us?
Well, It's that whole thing. It's actually even the Bible says, I'll ignore the speck, or rather the plank in my eye, and I'll always see the speck in your eye. And that's just the way we are wired. And then unfortunately, in today's day and age, we do not take responsibility. That is going out. You rarely get people saying that, hey, you know what? This is because of me. Because I did this and this and this, it made you do this and this and this and respond in such a way.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I need to change this.
People are not owning up.
People are not owning up. So one of the things I tell people is to realize where your fault is. I remember for me, I remember my wife, there's something she used to constantly say about me. And that was, I don't remember the exact word, but basically the day I decided to stop and ask myself, why does she keep saying this? It means that it was a blind side that I'd never seen.
But it was your own decision.
Yes, it was my own decision to now
think about it,
internalize and start.
Why she constantly says that to you.
Yeah, she's constantly.
But Emmanuel,
like,
people are so defensive.
It's true.
People are so defensive, and they don't like the attack.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's not even an attack.
Yeah.
You're just trying to lovingly point out something in your spouse that you actually wish they could change.
Yeah.
It may not sound as loving as you expect it to, but ideally the reason why he or she is telling you is because they want you to, twist and just change a little bit on the same. Because I do not think that if someone is not concerned, then they will keep talking about it. The reason they keep talking about the same thing is because they want you to address it. But when you're so defensive of your heart and so protective of yourself, when you have put a wall and you cannot be accessed, what are you supposed to do in such a case?
I don't know. Again, like you said earlier on, it has to be a decision that you make to realize that what they're saying, or rather to try and understand it from their perspective. Why are you saying that? And understand what is it about what you said, or what is it about what I'm doing made you feel that way.
How many times must she say that to you to get you to the realization that actually I need to, think about it and consider what she's saying? How many times must it be put across? Because every time it is said, it is so offensive to you.
You see, another thing that we also have to remember, Betty, is that normally when we are telling somebody something, the tone of our voice is not the best tone. Most of the times, in fact, in most situations where I've sat, I will ask, what did you say to them? I told him this, this, and this, and he needs to figure it out. He needs to work on it.
Yes.
And the truth is, the way you and I are wired is that it's not what you say, it's how you say it that makes the difference.
It's how I say it.
It's how you say it that makes the difference, that will make the difference between a person receiving. For example, for a male has an ego. The moment you bruise that ego, let me tell you, there is no communication that will come from you that he will listen. In fact, it will just be blocked, and you will sound like a nagging person. All right? For a man, when he talks down to a woman, the woman will feel low, right? It'll hurt her, and they tend to recluse and just hide away because they're avoiding what we call abuse. All right? But there's a way that you can talk to somebody, and somebody will say, you know what? I understand. For example, I'll give you a good example. I can tell you, you're very mean. You talk rudely, blah, 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 blah,
exactly.
and all that. And then you'll just like, of course you'll be defensive, but you need to know the truth.
Yes.
All right? That's just the natural response. But if I told you, hey, by the way, babe, when you said that, hey, this is how it made me feel. Then you'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you see how I disarmed? I told you the same thing.
I know.
I told you the very same thing.
Is there a guarantee that when you say it like that, this person will stop
There's
doing
no
that.
guarantee.
There's no
But
guarantee.
the point is, if you keep doing that, and they keep saying, you know what, every time I say this, you become more willing to change, because now somebody said it in a nice tone. You're just like, okay, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. In fact, a reconciliation begins. There is no that fighting, walls beating.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
My only major concern, Emmanuel, is the reason why people's marriages are not sustainable, the reason they don't last until death do them part, is not because of the tangibles, you know? People are not quitting because this man hasn't bought a car. People are not quitting because he hasn't stocked the fridge. People are not quitting because he's not educating his children. Others are even educating their children from afar, you know? But the major reasons, according to what I have been able to see, is the non-tangibles, you know? He talks so rudely. She talks so rudely. She doesn't respect, you know? It's the non-tangible. It is the character issues. It's the character issues. When you're walking down the aisle with someone and you are making a vow and saying I do for better and for worse, if this person's character is such that he's so intimidating, he's so harsh, he's the kind of person that cannot be addressed, he's the kind of person that cannot listen, you cannot have a meaningful conversation. What are you supposed to do? Stay here until death still? Bring in people. You know, there's also this one thing that people don't like. I want to keep my marriage issues to myself. You know? Are you going to keep talking about your issues all the time and you're spilling all your beans everywhere all the time? What are you supposed to do to just keep it for better and for worse?
First of all, let me address the earlier one. I really feel it's more than character issues that people run away from.
Okay.
First of all, before you got married, before you said I do, this person was the same person. And you probably saw this before. But there was something about this person that attracted you or drew you to that person that made you decide to make this lifelong covenant with them. And that's why you're in that marriage.
It may be that he had a lot of money.
That could be it.
Yes.
That could be it.
Yes.
So when you enter into, and then your expectations, not his expectations. You married this person.
Yes.
This is who they are. Remember, let's say you married at 25, let's say 30. 30, that's a good age.
Yeah.
Let's say you got married at 30. He has spent 30 years creating this default setting. So then you have to be willing to live with this for eternity, these default settings for eternity. Now, it's your hope that he changes. However, I strongly believe that when you change your expectations of the person, then
they automatically change.
They don't change.
Things
has
change.
nothing to about them. I had to learn that I had to change my mindset because of the expectations that I had. Because I had lofty expectations. I won't even lie. I'll be honest. I had lofty expectations of my wife. Now, were they realistic? No, they were not realistic.
They were lofty.
They were not realistic. Especially at the time we got married, we lived in a setting that would not allow for many of those things. So for me, I had to just realize, how can I make this situation the best for both of us so that we can succeed in this. So it began with me. It didn't begin with her changing.
It began with you.
It began with
your
me
mindset.
changing my mindset and how I think and realizing that my job is to love this person. All right?
So you didn't take it as a deception.
Now, in the beginning, I took it as a deception. Let's not.
Yes.
I took it as, you know, there were moments I even had with God, like, this woman, what is this? You told me to go here. Now look where I'm at.
I know. Sometimes you look at everything
Yeah.
and you remember your wedding day
Yeah.
and you're like, with all the beauty,
Yeah.
with all the dressing,
Yeah.
with all the nice stuff,
Yeah.
my friend, with all the money, you can stay, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling you.
Yeah.
I think it is more of character issues than just tangible stuff. And at this point, I want us to take a break and then we'll
All
come
right.
back and talk about this. Viewer, we are taking a short break. We're talking about for better and for worse. And I had asked you, did you walk down the aisle and make such kind of vows? What was the content of your vow? We're coming back shortly. See you. Hello, viewer. Welcome to
Chungu Cha Jamii.
My name is Tigist Hailu.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ruben West
I'm Dr. Charles Mukuka
from the United States of America.
I come from Ethiopia.
from Zambia.
I love Kenya very much.
I love the Kenyan people.
Love is not by confession. Love is by action.
Come on now.
When you are a husband, you are not a husband.
It's very important.
You can count the seeds in an apple, but you can never count the number of apples in a seed.
Her phone is her phone. My phone is my phone.
You only know what you know.
Who forced you?
The more you spend time together, the more strong you
A woman is like a Bible.
Could tell me that they were born and it wasn't from a female. I'd like to know.
A woman, she's a good asset. And a woman, she's a very, very good investment.
When you're up, your family knows who you are. But when you're down, you'll figure out who your family is.
Thank you so much.
Ni nani? Ni nani? Carry on! Hola! Genius DJ, genius DJ, genius DJ, genius hype man. Wow! It's bigger, it's better, it's live. I'll be your host, Ipola the Experience.
Genius Republic DJ Karian.
Join us for Ekomziki each and every Sunday from 8 a.m.
For the best in gospel music as we host your favorite gospel ministers.
Every Sunday, live on your favorite station, GBS TV. Boom, 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 boom. Carry on! Hey!
Everywhere GBS.
Oh no!
This is Art Club, which comes to you every Wednesday and Thursday as from 8:30 to 9 p.m. Never miss, never.
Oh no!
Elijah.
I'm a young baller.
Everywhere GBS.
Welcome back, viewer. Our SMS line is 21144, and we are here with Emmanuel talking about for better and for worse. Emmanuel, for better, anyone can live. Everything can be done. It's the happy, exciting moments. If it is children you wanted, you have them. If it is sons and daughters, you have them. Nice jobs, good houses, nice cars. When all these things are at their peak and you're really enjoying, then life is good. But when there's childlessness, when there is no money, there is no work, there is no car, there is no house, there are no good clothes, there's no food on the table, how are you supposed to live moving forward, holding on to what hope that someday there will be food here? How are you supposed to live? Because those moments come, and like you said before we went on a break, there are people who say, with all the money, you can stay. And others on the other side say, He doesn't bring money, I will pack and leave.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do when you were in that midst of confusion?
Wow. First of all, it's a very difficult place to be. And I don't just think of it only for marriage. There are people who desired things, great things in their life, career-wise and all that. But something in life just happened, or rather life just happened, and they were not able to achieve it.
Yeah.
You know, just any goals that we have. Some said by 40, I'll be the richest man in Kenya.
I know.
But somehow, somewhere along the way, something happened and, you know, fortunes just changed. Again, in marriage, you experience these things, and what it does is it begins to slowly destroy your marriage because of what you hoped for was not coming to pass. And I think in all things in life, it is important to know that there's one thing that's the most important, and the most important thing is that you have the companionship of each other. You see, at the end of the day, like for example, if it's children, my son is about to leave the house. So all I was doing was I was a guardian for a certain number of years so that he can go and live his life.
I know.
So
soon they will all be out.
Who is the person that I'm tied to for the rest of my life? It's my wife.
Yes.
So it's not about even the children. It's not about all that. It's about how we are living together
and you know,
in our
Emmanuel,
companionship.
It's easy for you to say that now because you have your children. But picture the people who walked down the aisle and said for better and for worse, not knowing what they were subscribing to.
But you see,
you know, we make vows
it's not,
very excited.
It's not just children that
exactly.
are a problem. It's not just even miscarriages, or it's not just that becomes a problem. It could be your spouse cheating on you.
Yes.
It could be that, you know, they got into an accident and now they're paraplegic, they can't whatever.
They can sire.
Yes. Not just sire, but just even live, and you can't enjoy life like the way you used to. There's so many things that happen that make us jaded.
Yes.
And for me, there are many things that have also happened within the last 17 years of marriage that have made me question so many things. There are many things that have happened that have made my wife question so many things about me, about marriage, about God.
Yes.
All right?
And I told you, someone even said marriage is such a sham.
And at the end of the day, what has mattered is that we have figured a way to overcome every single life happens issue that we have, and realize that together we will fight whatever it is that comes our way.
It's a decision you have made.
It's a decision that it's not a decision that we made initially. When the tough times came, hey, by the way, there were times you would just really want to, in fact, you pray to God and say, hey, this woman, hey, I can't anymore. You know, I can't anymore.
The beauty.
You know, yeah, I can't anymore. The moments you say that, and you will have those moments. You will have those moments where you say to your husband, you know, hey, God, this guy, nimemshiba kabisa, I don't want this guy. And what I can pray for each couple that is watching is that, you know, during those moments, that it's not both of you who will be at that same place. There'll always be the one who's jaded, but the one who wants to continue fighting for it. You always need that one person fighting for it to help that relationship succeed. But again, remember, life will happen, but it's not the end of life.
It's not
the
the
two
end
of
life.
you have become one. And you see now, what's beautiful about this is that you're not fighting life alone. You have somebody to fight life with. And if you guys make that choice that, you know, childlessness is the battle that we are fighting, so we are fighting it together.
Lack of job.
Lack of job is the problem. We are fighting it together. When you make whatever the issue is, that we are fighting this issue together, whether I'm the one who caused it or whether she's the one who caused it, it's not her who's the problem. The issue is what is the problem. And together we fight this issue.
I wonder how long it takes for one to get there.
It takes your entire marriage.
It
takes your entire marriage.
God.
There are
It's such
people
a
who are married.
sacrifice.
There are people who are married for 25 years. When they say marriage is work, this is what it's about. Even for the good.
So working is not just enjoying. It's not just, everything is perfect and food is on the table and you have all the luxurious cars that you want and you live in the, the leafy suburbs and the places, everything that you want. It's not that when everything is flowing as per your own desire, that's when it's good.
You see, that's not even when it's working.
Okay. That's not when it's working.
That's not even when it's working.
Okay. So when it's working when things are going on the contrary and you're managing.
No. Mm-hmm. All that are external factors. All right? Mm-hmm. And this is the unfortunate thing. We need to look at the internal factors. Mm-hmm. Am I speaking your love language? I can provide for my wife. I can have all the cars, I can have all the homes that she has. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not spending time with her, if I'm not doing all that, then guess what? All this that everybody's like, oh my God, you guys are couple goals, it matters nothing. Working is when you are in harmony and you are constantly, that's when your marriage is working. Mm-hmm. So you need to look at it in that context. All these other external things, those are just external things. So
Emmanuel, those external pressures, they kind of get into you. Mm-hmm. Because when you can meet with the people you got married together, you got married at the same time, you can look at their lives and say, it has been 70 years, like for your case, and looking at it, you have your sons grown, they are going to school, you live in this estate, you're comfortable from what they can see. People only judge the things they can see. What is not visible to the eye has nothing to do with whoever is watching, And the other side, the other couple, they are so frustrated. Everything seems so miserable and they don't seem to be keeping up. How do you tell them that someday things will be fine? And when is that someday? How long do they have to wait? Because if it is for better and for worse, then men, I need to have some better time. Much as the worst time comes, it should be something that rolls and it's done and I'm back to the next page.
Well, I'd say you have misguided perspectives because then we're not understanding then what marriage is about. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. When you decide to pursue a career path, when you say, I want to be a doctor, what's the process that you have to go through in order to be a doctor?
You have to study.
Yeah, you have to go, first of all, in primary school, you have to get, if it's out of 700, you have to get a 500 and above to go to a good school. In high school, if you're doing 844, you had to get, an A or a B plus and above in order to be considered for medicine. So then you go for 5 years of medicine in University of Nairobi or wherever university that you go to, and then you become a general practitioner. Then if you want to specialize to be a surgeon, you have to go to school again. There's so much you do to learn about what it takes to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. The lawyer the same, an engineer the same. All this professional thing is you have to study and go through a grueling process. Marriage is the only thing that we all only need this feeling inside here. That starry-eyed feeling. And then we're given a certificate before we get into it. And nobody understands or knows what marriage is about. So we confuse and we have this misguided perspective and think that the flashy, the big house, all that.
The lovey-dovey.
Yeah. All that is not marriage. You can be living in a cave and you can be very happily married and flourishing. All right? So you need to understand, a gentleman by the name of King Solomon, he says in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, 2 are better than one, with 2, they can keep each other warm in the cold season. When you're 2, if one falls, the other one can help you.
But these 2 are the ones that are constantly fighting. These 2
Hold on.
Are the ones who are constantly fighting.
Exactly. But you see, this is what King Solomon is saying, that 2 are better than one. Now, he had experience. He had 700 wives, 300 concubines. So he knows what he's saying. He had plenty of experience. So he understands what he's saying. All right? Now, the problem comes in where you and I are very, very selfish. And we are very, very self-centered. Love is very selfless. So everything that love or every attribute of love is actually very contrary to our natural human brokenness. Okay? Our natural human brokenness thinks me, 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 me. It's about me, 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 me. Paul says in Philippians that, look to the interests in your relationships, look to the interests of each other. He says, exalt it above yours. Don't look to your own interests, but look to the interests of your partner. Imagine you looking to the interests of your partner, the things that they desire, and your partner doing the same for you, and you're constantly working hard to make them, or fulfill these things, whether it's achievable or not, but you're working hard to do this. And
overlooking your feelings.
Overlooking your feelings.
And putting down your expectations.
Imagine how much happier you would be. Imagine how much happier you would be if you began pursuing what love truly is, as Paul wrote it in the Bible. He says, love is patient. If you chose to be patient, you see, the thing is, when I tell you that you hurt me and I ask you to change, I expect you to change.
Pap.
But you've been building this for the last 30-something years or 40-something years, depending on how old you are at the time. This is my default setting. So for you to begin changing, it is a process, and it takes being told quite a number of times. So it needs for me to be patient, to understand that you're a work in progress, working to strive for your perfection, to be a better person for me, and the same for me to you. It talks about kindness. Kindness actually is a proactive word. Kindness means that you continuously do acts of kindness for this person. See, when they say for the good times, for better, it means you're constantly doing these acts of stuff. You see, when we were dating, I constantly, told you all these nice things. I noticed all this. I did this. I complimented you. Somehow, when we get married, the things that we highlight are the bad things constantly. We forget the compliments, the little things that, say, even when you're leaving, to just say, girl, you're looking good as you're leaving the house. We don't even do that. In fact, it's weird. If your husband said that, to you, it's weird. Like, what do you want? And that's the response that we have, because we stopped doing these things. But what is this? This is kindness. This is kindness, continuously doing acts of kindness to show your person that that you truly appreciate them, that you value them, that you love them.
I get it. We have less than 3 minutes to end the show. And my biggest concern that I want to air to you right now is couples have really worked hard, and they have tried to do everything within their power to manage and keep their marriages. And for some, it has fallen out and gotten out of hand. Not according to what they desired or wanted. They remember the vows that they made for better and for worse. But time comes in their lives that they are really unable. They are drained of their energy and strength, and they don't know what to do. And both sides, no one has the strength to carry on. How? What is your advice to them today? Where should they get that extra strength to just push on with hope that is coming to an end, and some light is going to glow just in the next life?
My thing is to just advise or say this to you viewers out there, is that if you're going from Nairobi to Mombasa, the general thing that we would do is get on Mombasa Road and head on to Mombasa Road going towards Mombasa. Now, unfortunately for us, sometimes we do not know that we need to get on Mombasa Road to go to Mombasa. Sometimes we get on Waiyaki Way, and we are trying to head to Mombasa and wondering why we are not getting there. And I feel like this is where we're at as couples. In fact, most of everyone who comes and sits at my table, this is where we're at. This is where I have been, and sometimes I am at. That I'm trying to achieve this, but I'm doing it in the wrong way, in the wrong manner. Again, King Solomon says in Proverbs 24, 3 and 4, please make sure you go and read this. And he's talking about for your home to be filled with treasures. It's important first you must have knowledge, you must have understanding, and you must have wisdom. Knowledge is you understand this institution, who created it, what are the bylaws and whatever of this institution, how can I learn what they are? You know, they are down in the Bible. There are many marriage coaches out there. There are many, organizations that serve this purpose. Learn what marriage is about. Then gain understanding of what this knowledge is. And then wisdom is the applied or the application of this knowledge. You see, a lot of us know what the good and the right thing is, but there's a disconnect between knowing and actually applying it. And that's why we're struggling in our marriages. And a lot of us have misguided notions of what marriage is about based on what we have been exposed to in the media, in publications, or even in conversations out there. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the misguided things have been passed and handed down to us because of people who were broken, you know, just like the way we are broken. So we listen to them instead of finding out what is the right thing. So we are following and pursuing the words of these broken people and hoping that it will change our situation. Yet our situation becomes worse and worse and worse. So my challenge to you is find out what's the right thing. The author of this institution is God himself. My organization, I don't say it's a Christian or a religious organization, but everything that we talk about with regards to marriage is founded based on what the author of marriage did. So we take all our things from the Bible. Whatever it is that will teach you is based on the Word of God.
Okay. My last word to you that I would like you to speak to our viewer also would be, there are people who say, should I stay here until I die? However worse it gets. Since you are the founder of iVow, I know you don't advocate for divorce, you know, but there are people who are like, it's too much, I can't take it anymore. Should I stay here until I die? Even if for worse for me means being battered. Should I stay here until I die just because I committed for better and for worse?
Here's what I'd say, and this is actually a question that has been asked quite a number of times. Again, I will say, I do not advocate for divorce. I am not a fan, I don't believe in it, and I won't even use the statement that we all use, the cliche that God says, but I do not advocate for it. But again, I just say, we made a covenant to each other, all right? And this covenant is binding. But this covenant doesn't bind you to say that I will stay and be killed. If I am being battered, especially. If I'm being battered, I would say you can move from that situation, but I'm not saying divorce. You can move to another home. You can move to another place until such a time as you can work through this. Sometimes it takes you getting out of that situation for that person to realize, I'm losing something. Sometimes that's what it takes. Okay. I'm not guaranteeing it, and I'm sure there's many people who say, yeah, I came back after another 2 months. He started, you know.
There's also mediation.
So yeah. So again,
work out.
You need to be careful about the covenant that you get into. Okay. The most important thing that you need to do is you need to go and ask them the hard and the real questions before you get married. You will learn a lot. Good. So that's why I challenge people, do premarital counseling. We do premarital counseling, and we get to tackle all those pillars that, you know, will help you have the right conversations.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for coming to share with
Thank you
us
for
all
having
this
me.
kind of knowledge. We hope we shall have the wisdom to apply them as you have taught us. Thank you so much, viewer. You have been watching Chungu Cha Jamii on GBS TV, and I really, really believe you have picked out one or two things that are so helpful to you, even in your life today. Thank you so very much. My name is Betty Akuku. I have been your host. See you next time.